Today I screwed up. Issue number 1. Today I screwed up, accidentally fertilizing my best friend. Probably this is my biggest mistake that will haunt me for the next 18 years. We went on vacation together, either with her parents or with mine. She was like a sister to me, which I never had. And now, when people find out that she is pregnant from me, it sounds almost like something illegal. A few months ago, I was at her apartment. We both got drunk, and well, somehow it turned out that way. We liked it, so next week this accident was repeated quite often. We used rubber bands, but she did not accept counterfeit ones. How the hell did this happen? I know that some people get pregnant even on hormones, but I never thought it would happen to us. She did 5 tests, and a week later, she went to a gynecologist who confirmed the pregnancy. We both cannot go for an abortion, so we decided to leave the child. The only person who shipped us from the very beginning is her grandmother, Law. I still can't believe that now I have to spend 18 years of my life on my child. Although no, not 18, but all my life. Change for those who advise me to take a paternity test. Yes, I will do it. She herself said that she does not mind if I doubt that the child is mine, because the situation is really unlikely. Okay guys, we just went to her parents. In general, we planned to go in the evening, as I said, but decided that it was better to do it faster. I was terribly nervous. Her father was working in the garden, and her mother was cleaning the house. Half an hour later, everyone gathered in the kitchen, and we realized that there would be no better moment. We told them everything, and damn, I saw horror in their eyes. Lol. Easy. There was a terribly awkward pause. They asked a lot of questions, after which we even called her grandmother to say that her prediction came true. As a result, we made up an excuse and left. Already in the car, she kissed me and said that she was proud of me. All the way, her hand lay on my leg. So does this mean that I like her? Or did I come up with something? She is generally a very kind person. In the past, a lot of guys thought that she flirted with them, but in fact, she was polite with them. Today, I screwed up, making a compliment to the girl about her skirt. In fact, this happened a couple of weeks ago. Many friends of mine complained to me that there are no normal pockets in women's clothes, so it looked quite progressive. Later, I came up to her to chat, made a compliment to her skirt, and added how great it is that there are pockets in it. She was confused and said, "There are no pockets in my skirt. Why did you even take it?" I explained that a little earlier, I saw her holding her hand in her pocket, but I still burn with shame. Today, I screwed up, showing my family a short video where I caress my girlfriend with my fingers. It happened about 45 minutes ago. Gradually, members of the family began to gather around us, attracted by pleasant music, accompanying this edited video. We watched cute photos of our pets, trips to the museum before COVID, how we noticed deers with our girlfriend, how we decorated our new apartment, spent time in my mom's house, walked in the forest, and engaged in ordinary activities that passed in the summer and autumn. Time froze. Someone said, "Oh." I panicked and turned my phone down to the screen. People began to disperse, but the atmosphere in the room became so tense that it seemed that it could be touched with your hands. Now I'm lying in bed, printing this post, and thinking about how in 30 years, this moment will become one of those awkward memories that will not let me sleep at night. Today, I screwed up trying to save a drowning woman with a naked top. It happened yesterday. My family, my wife, children, and relatives just returned from an evening walk on the pontoon. It was already late, so I sent my wife to a golf course with children and relatives to have dinner, and I was left to cover the boat. In the middle of the process, I noticed that someone was swimming in the middle of the bay. The man was absolutely alone, and it seems was experiencing difficulties. I realized that this was a woman. She did not move in a certain direction, and from time to time went under the water. On the opposite bank, someone shouted to her, but I did not hear what it was. I shouted, "Do you need help?" And she answered, "Yes." I called my wife and told her to come back to the golf course, because there is a man who needs help, and I'm gone to jump into the water. I put on a life jacket, took a life jacket from the boat, and swam to the man. I passed the pillow to the drowning woman, who, as it seemed to me, was suffocating. Second, what will my wife think when I drag a half-naked woman to the shore? She said she was running away from her boyfriend, who had trouble with his head. Then she asked if she could get to the bottom, but it was still far to the shore. I helped her swim to the pier, where my wife met us. The woman said to my wife, "I'm sorry, I don't have a t-shirt." The wife just asked if she was okay, and the woman told the story about the guy again. When she got out of the water, we saw that she was really without a top. But at the same time, she was holding a white t-shirt in her hands, which she immediately put on. Then she ran to the shore. At the same time, we noticed that a pontoon was approaching our pier, from which someone was shouting something. At first I thought it was the same guy, and that we were in the middle of some kind of household conflict. When the pontoon swam closer, I realized that these were two sheriffs who took advantage of the boat to cross the lake. They jumped on our pier, and we noticed that just then, that woman stole our golf cart and hid on it. It turned out that she was involved in a series of theft crashes, and the guy she was running from was a policeman. That is, I involuntarily helped her cross the lake and use our golf cart to escape. The police tried to catch her all night, but she hid again. We were looking for our golf cart all day, but everything was unsuccessful. Around lunchtime, I reported the theft to the insurance company. Today, I messed up, thinking that the laser epilation master complimented my back pass. A necessary clarification. This happened a couple of days ago, but only now I have psychologically recovered from a wild shame. So, after the lockdown was lifted, we had a huge sale in our country in a laser epilol. I bought 10 sessions right away and went to the first one, a little nervous, but happy that soon I would have a smooth body. I decided to do a complete removal front and back. It's a common thing, right? A nice woman entered the office and briefly explained how everything would go. Then she came out, giving me time to undress. Now a small detail. On my left hand, I wear a very beautiful silver ring with a bright blue stone. It's handmade. It was made by a guy, my best friend, so it's pretty unique. And here, the master, to disperse the awkward silence, says, "What a cute ring you have." And I, of course, completely forgot that I was wearing this ring at all. An awkward pause hangs, then a short, tight laugh. And only at this moment it comes to me that it was not about my fifth point at all. The rest of the procedure took place in dead silence, after which I flew out of the office with a bullet. I'm still trying to get over it. Today, I screwed up, deciding to chill in my friend's apartment while she wasn't home. Last month, my friend Jenna moved to a new, cool apartment, and I finally found time to visit her. I arrived earlier than she returned from work, and she told me to take a spare key from the flower pot and feel at home. I made myself a sandwich, walked around the apartment, ate and looked around, when suddenly the front door opened, and a big unfamiliar man with a roadside bag came into the room. Judging by his expression on his face, he didn't expect to see me either. I looked at his bag and realized that I had knocked on some thief's shit. In a panic, I put my sandwich in it and locked myself in the bedroom, and then he also began to shout that he was calling the police. I was a little hung up. I looked around and realized that the bedroom I was locked in clearly belonged to a man. So today I screwed up by accidentally breaking into my neighbor's friend's apartment, putting his sandwich in it and shouting at him to get out of his own house. Today I screwed up by showing my mom a drawing of my guest from a sleep paralysis. I have sleep paralysis from time to time. For several years now, from time to time, it's been bothering me. About once every couple of months, I told my parents about it, so the fact that they know about it is not a problem. Just so you understand, if something goes wrong in life, my father sincerely believes that this is the search of the devil himself, who wants us to lose faith. They want me to talk to a priest, consecrate an apartment and sprinkle with holy water every time I go home. And the next time I come to visit, it is quite possible that I will be waiting for a spontaneous rite of exorcism. Wish me luck. Today I screwed up, letting out such a terrible smell that I had to evacuate the whole courtroom. It happened about 5 hours ago. This morning I woke up with terrible spasms due to the damn female cycle. And in addition to everything, the spicy chicken that I ate the day before clearly did not lie down too well in my stomach. I went to the toilet 3 times before work. It seemed to me that it made me feel better, so I took a pill, got my spirit together and went to work. And here everything went wrong. I accompanied the prisoner to the witness stand and stood next to her. The session was open. Everything was as usual, but suddenly my stomach began to spin again, until I heard the prisoner start coughing, choking and vomiting loudly. The administrator came up to us, but barely inhaled the air as soon as she bent in half, sharply putting her head into the trash can. By this moment, a real chaos began in the hall, and this is the last thing you want to see in court in front of a surrounding judge. The judge ordered me to immediately take the prisoner back to the closed box and stated that it was probably a problem with the pipes. He interrupted the hearing, called the technicians to check the entire system for leaks, cracks, or any other possible sources of malice. The prisoner still had tears in his eyes. The administrator was sitting next to the bucket and drinking water, and I continued to pretend that I was also wrinkled. Today I screwed up by sending the nudes to the group chat. We really have a big age difference. Besides, I have been working mostly with men for 30-40 years. We have a group chat for the employees of our branch, which includes the owner, manager, and 5-6 other employees. The night before, I caught a certain playful mood and decided to take a few photos and videos for the guy I was dating then. Well, it's a common thing, right? The next morning I was waiting for a shift. The day was busy. Around noon, I had to send a photo to the group chat to show the problem with the computer I was working on. Without looking, I clicked send and continued to work. By this time I was alone and closed the shift, so there were no colleagues nearby. The client delayed me for 30-45 minutes. When he finally left, I took the phone and saw a bunch of missed calls from the boss. At first I thought he was calling about my question, but while the phone was ringing, I went into the group chat and, to my horror, realized that I had sent not only a photo from last night, but also a whole fucking everything inside me broke. As soon as I realized this, another call from the boss rang, and I picked up the phone. He began to ask what I wanted to say about this, and how I could do such a disrespectful act towards the company. I tried to explain everything. As a plus, a colleague who I liked finally paid attention to me. Today I screwed up by accidentally giving my dog the best day of her life. My case is not as crazy as some others, but I think it will seem funny to someone. Although personally, at the same time I laugh and regret what happened. I'll start with the fact that every time I cook hot dogs, I cut the packaging, take a few pieces, then wrap the leftovers in cling film and fix everything with an elastic band. But today I didn't do this. I can't explain why today my stupid brain decided to just fold the packaging a few times and put it back on the shelf. But the fact remains. My husband went down to the kitchen for a couple of minutes between endless work meetings to quickly make himself lunch, because, in his opinion, he has never eaten in his life. And here we are all in the kitchen, I hear the fridge opening, and I'm suddenly overwhelmed with horror. I understand that my husband will now definitely pull up for these hot dogs, which I so stupidly packed. I quickly turn around to say at least something, but my husband, frozen in slow-mo, looks at me with torn eyes. At the very moment when the packaging unfolds and pours our dog's whole head with an unimaginable amount of juice from the hot dogs, he broke down and began to run around the apartment at full speed. We've never seen anything like this before. The next 15 minutes, he literally sang us dithyrambes, considering us the greatest creatures on earth, rolling on every piece of furniture in the house. Every damn thing. Of course, I don't hate hot dogs, but their smell is quite specific, and now wherever I sit, I'm haunted by the cursed aroma of hot dog juice. The dog, of course, likes everything, and I sit and think how to wash away all this smell from my life. Today I screwed up because I didn't know that the guy I like works on the same floor as me. It happened yesterday, and I still want to die. By the way, I'm 19 and he's 21. It all started with the fact that the assistant teacher of one of my courses got sick, and we were invited to read a lecture by another person. The guy who came to replace me was terribly nervous, but damn it, he was so nice. One time I was studying something in the library, and I saw that he was sitting close to me. I started talking to him, and we had a great chat. We talked for several hours, and of course I didn't study anything like that. Now to the point, one of my close friends also works in this laboratory, so when there was no one in it, we had a great time with her. Yesterday, around 4 p.m., we decided to go out into the corridor, have a little snack, and just chat. One of the doors to the neighboring laboratory was open, but we didn't pay attention to it because the whole floor was practically empty. Most people were still on vacation. I told her that we met it was all just for fun, and then I, as a shameless, uneducated person who would never interfere with filtering, started talking. I would even hit him in the back if he wanted to, and we both started laughing. Note, of course, I was joking. And literally from nowhere, I heard steps coming out of the very open door next to us. My friend and I turned around in horror, And of course he came out of there with an expression of slight shock on his face. He looked at us and said, "Hey guys, can you be quiet?" And then he winked at me, turned around and left, leaving the door open. I looked at my friend, expressing the maximum degree of horror. As soon as I found myself on the street, I just fell off the bench, hoping that the fresh air would help me come to my senses. My friend, of course, was still laughing, but still tried to comfort me. She immediately Googled the name of the laboratory from which he came out, and yes, his name is in the section Our Team. Does his complete lack of reaction bother me? Still, do I want to dig a hole in myself and bury the remains of my dignity in it for all 100%? Update. In general, after what happened, I was in such a damn horror that I just avoided the laboratory until the very end of the winter holidays. I couldn't. On the very first day after the holidays, I was standing in the lounge room making a toast to myself when suddenly he came in. Here, damn, I thought, realizing that the collision was inevitable and perhaps I should apologize for that terrible comment. But instead, I turned away and began to smear the toast with peanut butter with such concentration as if my life depended on it. If I don't look at him, it means he doesn't see me, right? No, not right. He came up, smiled, and said, "Hello, my name." Thank God he didn't mention that case. Then he looked at my toast and asked, "Is that all you're going to eat for lunch?" I answered something like, "Yes. I was in a hurry and forgot to take food with me." Then he said, "Oh, I was just going to go and take something to the nearest cafe." Well, after today's lunch, how many seconds do you think I looked at you without taking my eyes off? I stared at him with a twisted jaw, and he laughed and added, "Probably longer than 6 seconds. That means I like you." This is how he responded to the same conversation that I had with my friend on that unfortunate day when he eavesdropped on us. Despite the shock, I was able to squeeze out a laugh and also answer him sharply. "Well, tomorrow is our first anniversary." He didn't touch the chocolate bar. A couple of weeks later, he admitted that although he appreciated my comment, he wasn't excited by such an idea at all. So my second innocence remains with me. But now I have a super cute, smart, and kind guy. Thank you very much for watching. In the comments under the video, confess how you screwed up today, and don't forget to watch our other videos. Hugs, bye.